Buying a car in Bill Gatton Nissan Country is simple. Get discounted upfront pricing, cash incentives up to $7,000, and 0% financing up to 84 months. Visit us on the web at billgattonnissan.net and see how the difference is in the dealer.
Welcome to this special presentation of the Bristol Herald-Courier's Pappy Thompson Award of Excellence. The award is named for Gene Pappy Thompson, longtime former sports editor of the Bristol Herald-Courier. It was first presented in 1982 and recognizes outstanding high school student athletes from Southwest Virginia and Northeast Tennessee. This program is sponsored by Bill Gatton Automotive Group and Food Country USA. For more about the award and its namesake, we'll hear from Assistant Sports Editor George Stone.
I started here in 1977, which has been a long time ago. And actually, Pappy was responsible for me coming here. You know, you could probably describe Gene Thompson in one word, and that would be humble. There's a lot of other words that could probably describe him, but humble would be the most fitting. But he was a kind person. He was real. I mean, what you saw is what you got. Always had a smile on his face that I can remember. He was just one of those people that you hear about. You hear people say, well, I can't say anything bad about him. Well, Gene Thompson was one of those. I can't think of anything or ever heard anybody say anything bad about Gene Thompson. He covered everything. His passion was high school athletics. Upper East Tennessee, Southwest Virginia, that was his passion. He covered minor league baseball. Bristol had an Appalachian League team, so he really loved doing that during the summertime, but I would say high school athletics. Pappy started in 1937, and of course, journalism kind of evolved over the decades, but he had a kind of a folksy kind of writing style. I mean, he was easy to read, easy to follow. He wrote about people, and that's what you want to read about. Steve Baldwin, who was a sports editor at the time, said to me one day, he said, you know, we need to do something for Pappy. He's been here almost 50 years. Maybe a little less than 50. He said, we need to do something. So we kind of knocked around some ideas over the ensuing months. We went to management, talked to them about it, and finally came up with the idea of the award as it is today, the Gene Pappy Thompson Award for Excellence. And what we first gave out in 1982 is pretty much still the same award that we give out now. We asked principals, ADs to nominate one senior, boy or girl, and from those nominees we go over resumes that they put together, and the sports department here, sports staff, studies the resumes, and from all the resumes we come up with 5 finalists, and from the 5 finalists we come with 1 winner. And you know, we set a criteria, actually in the early days when we first started this award. The criteria that we thought embodied what Gene stood for. Obviously, in a student athlete, is that the athlete be good in athletics. Also that the student part of it, that he or she would excel in the classroom. And thirdly, but not necessarily last, is that they would contribute to the community service, do charity work, that sort of thing. He had 8 kids. And all you had to say, I know back in the day when I was covering different events, I've been to Nashville, I've been to Richmond, everywhere in between, and those who are in the sports community, all you had to say is Pappy. They knew who you were talking about. Because back in the day, he would travel all over the state to cover state tournaments. Both Tennessee and Virginia, so everybody knew him. Everybody knew him.
We'll be right back after this break to to meet our 5 finalists and to reveal this year's winner.
Food Country USA has everything you need for the perfect dinner or get-together. From fresh produce to savory meat, we're here to make your family's mealtime special. Visit foodcountryusainc.com for valuable coupons and free item Fridays.
This year, the Herald Courier Sports Department received 22 nominations. From there, they faced the daunting task of narrowing that list to 5 finalists. The sports staff will introduce our finalists.
This is Tim Hayes. I'm a sports writer for the Bristol Herald Courier, and I'm going to tell you about Pappy Thompson Award finalist Peyton Carter from Abingdon High School. Peyton is an excellent basketball player. She's the all-time leading scorer for the Falcons, and she will play at Tennessee Tech University for 4 more years. In the classroom, she has a 3.9 GPA, and perhaps most impressive is what she does for special needs students at Abingdon. She's befriended many of them and has become popular in the hallways among all students, just the way she treats people. Just first of all, talk about what these 4 years at Abingdon High School have been like. If you had to sum them up, how would you say this experience?
Oh my goodness, fast and just a blessing. I mean, it's crazy how fast these 4 years have gone. I was in 8th grade, so excited to be a big kid playing on the varsity team, and it's like a blur. Just with a blink of an eye, it was over, but it was absolutely amazing. So fun.
Just what do you think the biggest thing you probably had to overcome, maybe, or just the biggest area you think you've grown in since you entered high school, would you say?
I would definitely say my ACL injury, because I felt like I said, I was so excited to come into high school, play on varsity team, and my very first year, it was the 4th game of the season, it just completely ended for that season. And not really just physically that I struggled, it was mentally. I had to overcome that. I had to do school while I was thinking constantly, when am I going to come back? When am I going to be normal? Got to get out of these crutches. That was definitely the biggest setback in my life, but I definitely wouldn't be the player I am today without going through that injury.
Do you think that helped you kind of appreciate
Definitely.
the opportunity?
Definitely, because I get to go out and realize that this could happen at any second that I'm out there on the court or even walking down a street. So it helps me appreciate every second I'm out there.
I'll jump around here a little bit. What would you say your favorite subject is in school?
Math.
Okay.
I love math.
What appeals to you about that? And what?
I think it just genetically we're math heads. English is I don't want to do anything with English, so I'm a math head.
Just talk about, I know you played other sports maybe growing up, but when did you decide to kind of just focus on basketball?
When I was growing up through elementary school, I wanted to be a soccer player. Like, that was my sport. Soccer was my sport. And then basketball was just to the side. And then I started realizing, my parents were like, you need to stick to basketball because you're good. So I was like, so then soccer kind of was to the side because I realized that I could go somewhere in basketball if I just stick to it. So, and then also I played softball growing up. Actually, I stopped playing like 2 years ago. I loved it. It's just something that I like to play.
Yeah, this is Alan from the sports department here at the Bristol paper. I did my Pappy Thompson feature on Jordan Keith of Holston High School. And Jordan is, his personality in academics and athletics is to take the lead. He takes pride in being first, arriving early and dominating meets, and that's reflected in his academics, where he's a 3.9 student, and track and field and cross country, where he won 2 state titles. He plans to major in criminal justice and go to King University, and he has all the essentials for success. His administrators at Holston call him a role model, and I could definitely see that. You've accomplished so much the past 4 years. Anything you're most proud of?
In like sports,
academics?
Sports. I've been thankful to be able to have, be able to be on the National Honor Society and be able to win state 2 times. I'm real thankful for that, and I'm thankful to be a part of my church and be a big part of my faith, be a Christian.
What are some things you learned here at Holston that will carry over in your life and in your future career?
I've really learned that hard work pays off, that the harder you work, the better off you'll be, and that's really really stuck with me.
What do you plan on doing? Have you mapped out a course yet?
I would like to go to King and run and get a degree in criminal justice, and then after that get a job in game warden, be a game warden or somewhere in that field.
Hello, this is Brian Woodson with the Bristol Herald Courier, the sports editor here. I've had the privilege of interviewing Union High School senior Ashley Cusano as one of the 5 finalists for the Pappy Thompson Award. Cusano was a salutatorian of her senior class, compiling a 4.21 grade point average, and is also a graduate of Mountain Empire Community College, where she got a degree in Associates in Arts and Sciences. She's also a 7-time state champion in swimming, set 6 records along the way. Cusano, who also teaches swimming lessons in her community for their local kids, will be attending North Carolina State and swim with the Wolfpack, and also will be also a major in biology and focus in the medical field.
I started swimming because I just really liked it, like playing. I didn't really swim yet, and I started when I was about 5 because we heard of a summer league team in Wise, and then from there I just loved it more than any other sport.
When did you realize that you had some talent for swimming?
And when I was about 11 or 12, I guess. My parents got me a private coach in Asheville, so I could do more like USA meets that are they're bigger and they're more competitive than summer league.
When did you start going to the USA swim meets and things like that?
I was about 9 or 10 maybe.
So you got started pretty early, and this was national competition, or? Well,
it's kind of, when I first started, it was just like meets in Tennessee, and it was like the Tri-Cities area. And then I think I was 9, and then I went to Eastern Zone, sorry.
What's the biggest like international or national meet?
Winter Nationals. That was it's like a long course meet, but it has Olympians, college swimmers, anyone who can get the time is there.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. How big a deal was that for you to win these state championships?
It was a pretty big deal. I think seeing like what I could do was just, it like showed how much work I'd put into it and what I got out of it. So it was really rewarding.
But what was it about NC State?
Honestly, the coaches, they were always super involved, and they were more involved than like the other coaches that I talked to. And they were always like asking me about school, swimming, life in general, and I usually was talking to them pretty frequently, more than like the other coaches from different schools. And then when I went on my visit, I like loved Raleigh and the team atmosphere.
I did my Pappy Thompson feature on Cole McBrayer of Tennessee High School. And Cole has all the qualities of a leader. He was a team captain in basketball and football, and naturally he was the point guard in basketball and the quarterback in football. He's a very humble kid who takes pride in everything he does, obviously. 4.0 student. He said his life was changed. He took mission trips to Brazil and inner city Orlando, and he said he came back from those experiences with a greater understanding of his world and how he can help. And I can see he's going plans to play football at Emory, and I can see him having success there. As an athlete and a student. Cole, where does your leadership ability come from?
I think it mostly comes from probably my dad. My dad's big in business, and he's always been a leader in that way, and he's taught me a bunch of leadership skills. And then a lot of it also just comes naturally, like I've always felt. Just the ability to lead other people in the right way and help others as much as I can. So I think a lot of it comes natural, and then some, of course, from my dad.
And that carries over playing the quarterback and point guard?
Right. Quarterback and point guard both require a bunch of leadership ability, and I think as I kept playing those positions, it helped strengthen my leadership as well.
What are you most proud of over the past 4 years here?
Well, probably just the way that well, of course, the conference championship that we got in football this year, that was big. And then also just getting big wins with my teammates in both basketball and football. I mean, we've done some pretty great things over the past 4 years, so it's been awesome.
And you've accomplished so much. Where does your drive? Is it inner drive, or do you come from family, or?
I think a lot of it is just, I mean, just the way I guess I carry myself. I don't know. I've always been someone that's just been up and going. So I think I just want to be the best that I can. So I think a lot of it comes from me.
You're not a big talker. You're more of a humble type, lead by example type of guy.
Yeah, I'm more of a lead by example. I mean, I can be vocal, but I've always been more of a lead by example. But I've been trying to develop a vocal leadership ability. But
how are you dealing with COVID-19? Has it been hard to work out for you next?
Yeah, it has been hard. I've been doing a lot of at-home workouts, so it's definitely different from going to the weight room every day. But I've also been able to hook up with some of my receivers and throw out on the field and stuff like that. But it's definitely been different. Been a lot at home, just relaxing. But, so yeah.
Hi, I'm George Stone, Bristol Herald Courier Assistant Sports Editor. I had the pleasure of interviewing Virginia High School senior student athlete Kelsey Harrington, who was one of 5 finalists for the 2020 Gene Pappy Thompson Award for Excellence. Kelsey, a phenomenal athlete, cross country, set records, track set records, and she'll be continuing her career at the University of North Carolina on scholarship next year, running both cross country and track. She was a great student, 4.1 GPA, and she logged over 100 community service hours, giving back to her community. With everything that's going on now, how do you structure your practices? I mean, do you have a rigid plan that you go by to run now, or?
Yes, I've been following my coach's plan for University of North Carolina. I've been going off of his workouts.
Is it as rigid as high school workouts, or?
It's tougher than high school workouts.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be, I guess, right?
Yes.
And in what way is it tougher? What do you have to do?
It's more mileage. It's a lot more miles than I was getting in high school for running. Well, there's normally one long day per week, which is like about an hour run to like an hour and 5 minutes. And then the rest of the week, it's kind of like there's a number of minutes of like warm-ups and cool-downs, and then there's like a little workout in between. And then there's some days where it's just like an easy like 30-minute run.
What's been the biggest highlight of your career here at Virginia High running?
Probably the biggest highlight is breaking the Berea Large's old record, 36-year-old school record.
You plan on majoring in at UNC?
I've been thinking it over, and I think it's going to be sports science and medicine.
Okay. And what would lead you to that?
Well, I'm hoping to become a physical therapist.
Okay, here's volunteers at Sharing Christ Worship Center feeding the hungry. Tell me about that.
So, like a bunch of people who don't have like a lot of money or who are poor, they come in and they get like a free meal that's paid for, and I help like prepare the food and just like serve it on like the little trays to them.
Okay. Well, that's neat. Well, culinary arts, assistant Virginia High Culinary Arts. You like to cook?
Well, actually, my first year here, I was in the culinary arts program, and I still cook. I mean, I've been cooking like after I run and things. Like I've been cooking my meals every day now.
And now, to announce this year's winner, here is sports editor Brian Woodson.
Hello, this is Brian Woodson, the sports editor here with the Bristol Herald Courier. I'm proud to announce our 39th winner of the Pappy Thompson Award, and it goes to Jordan Keith of Holston High School. Keith is the second winner of the Pappy Thompson Award from Holston. Peyton Garrett took top honors in 2015. So we just want to say congratulations to Jordan. Thank you. Well, first of all, Jordan, how's it make you feel? You're the second winner Holston's ever had. A guy named Peyton Garrett won in 2015. Do you know Peyton?
Yes, sir.
What do you know about Peyton? Tell me a little bit about him and what you ever? I mean, you were probably in the 7th grade, I believe, when he won.
Yeah, I knew Peyton a little bit because he was on my brother's baseball team and his golf team whenever they won state.
Oh, okay.
And they were like real good friends, and
I would always I'd talk to him sometimes, but he was a real big role model too.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
And being the second winner from Holston, and you had every year it's a tough decision. How does it make you feel to know you're the winner?
I feel honored and humbled to be able to win this award with all these great people and all these great contestants. That it's a huge honor, really, and I'm really grateful and humbled to be able to be chosen to win this award.
Because this is the 39th year, and over the years there's been thousands of people probably nominated, and to be one of the 39 winners has got to be pretty nice. So.
Yeah, it's a big honor. I'm very grateful to have this opportunity.
Congratulations to Jordan Keith, winner of the Pappy Thompson Award. Thank you to our program sponsors, Bill Gatton Automotive Group and Food Country USA. And thank you for watching.